Happy Tuesday to you, live from Music Town, Detroit, inside Hockey Town. It's time for the Homegrown Happy Hour. I'm Frank Williams Jr., and it's a special Tuesday because it's actually a two-for Tuesday. You guys ready for round one? Out of Belleville, my good friend Ray Williams is with me. Who's this guy with you?
Hey, this is Brian Frank, who is...
Brian Frank?
Frank. Yes.
I get mail with Frank on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yes, well, he is saving the day and a musician that was able to be here at noon and ready and
which is
awesome.
kind of hard to find.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right?
I come from Nashville. Like, of course it's hard to find a musician that's awake or whatever at noon. So
well, it's perfect timing that you're here on this Tuesday because this Sunday we've got a big party here at Music Town Detroit. Well, what's the details on this? Spill the beans.
Well, first and foremost, it has been an incredible few days with so much love from Music Town and from YCD and from people calling in and voting for me in your showdown. My Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, everything's just kind of exploded since Thursday. So thank you all so much.
Because you announced that this is your debut.
This is it.
Brand new single.
This is it.
And Sunday's the release party.
It is. I've spent just as much time in Detroit as I have in Nashville, and it feels so good to come back home and to be amongst the OG fans that knew me from when I was a teenager. Yodeling in pink pleather pants. And
are we gonna get one of those songs tonight? That'd be awesome. We should get a yodel here.
I'm hoping my mother's burned all the evidence of that so far. But no, I wanted to throw a big party, and y'all at 99.5 WYCD, the folks here at Music Town, everybody's just really, really rallied behind me. So we are doing a huge single release party, full band show up on the rooftop here of Hockey Town Cafe. And so we'll be overlooking Comerica Park, Ford Field, and I personally have never done a show of this caliber, so I'm super pumped and super terrified, and I can't wait.
Yeah, the Lions have a game that night, too. Yeah. So right before the game, you'll be performing in front of
the Tigers
not only people here.
Yeah, the Tigers are playing daytime. It's the last Tigers home game at 1 o'clock, and then the Lions play at 8. And so kind of our whole thing is let's just have a big end of summer rooftop party, celebrate the product that came from, WYCD and Music Town and all this crazy stuff with Lyft. I can't believe... we did a Homegrown Happy Hour back in April.
Which was kind of on a grander scale, too. It was up in the Lyft Lounge. It was huge on a stage. It was.
Well, they just
we should do that again.
I know. They just called me the night before, and they said, hey, can you come in and do this special one? And so we were able to pull it out and make it happen. And, it's insane to think about how much has happened in the last, 5 months.
But I stole your thunder a little bit.
No.
You're not upset about that?
No,
because you were supposed to announce this new single on Friday.
Yes.
To your fans, but then I'm just like, you know what? It's an awesome song. Let's put it on my showdown. Let's hear it right now. This is the reigning showdown champion that's going to be on tonight again against brand new Thomas Rhett, by the way.
Oh, man. And he's so good looking. That's so bad for me.
So this is going to be the debut single on Sunday that we're throwing a big party for on the rooftop of Music Town. This is Sing Me Home.
Temptations on vinyl, little carefree child dancing around the kitchen floor. Whenever I hear my girl, it takes me back to a sweeter world. Guess that's what a melody's for. So let the groove be the engine, the words be the wheels, and roll me to where I'm from. Hey, come on, radio now, play me something Motown. Put the sway back in my soul. Sing me home, sing me home. Well, I'm the underdog trying, with the heart of a lion, scratching and clawing my way. It can be tough going, but it don't hurt knowing home is just a song away. So let the groove be the engine, the words be the life, and sometimes I need to get away from mine. 3 minutes at a time. Let the groove be the engine, the words be the wheels, and roll me to where I'm from. Hey, come on, radio now, play me something Motown, put the sway back in my soul. Sing me home, sing me home. Ooh, yeah, sing me home, sing me home, sing me home.
Sunday, we party on the rooftop of Hockey Town for that song right there. That's Sing Me Home. I love that.
Thank you.
It is so awesome.
You know, I wanted to write a song for Detroit, and I actually wrote that like 4 years ago, and I just didn't want it to be cheesy, you know? And so I sat down with my producer, Jim Moose Brown, and he's actually the band leader for Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, and he's a hit songwriter.
Very
He wrote
cool.
It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere for Jimmy Buffett and Alan Jackson, and I just
he
said,
looks like Moose.
and he does. He's really tall, and he looks like, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, and then my other co-writer, Paul Sykes, and we sat in a room, and I just said, man, if we could nail this, that would be amazing. You
Right.
know, like that's what I would want to come out the gate with. And Michigan's always been so good to me, so
I'd say you
I'm so
nailed
glad
it.
that people are responding. Thank you for your votes. Please call again. I mean, Thomas
So yeah,
Rhett,
that's going to be on
Keller.
my show again tonight in the showdown. You got a tough competition though, Thomas Rhett.
I know.
He's a superstar
but
right now.
believe me,
You beat Brett
know.
Young though. That's tough competition too. So I got faith.
I
Absolutely
mean,
got faith.
Yeah, you keep putting me up against all these dreamy guys. Like, it's not fair.
Well, that's not the point. The point is it's good music that you're winning
Thank
against.
you.
Not
Thank you
dreamy
so
guys
much.
that you.
Oh, well, thank you. No, that was so cool. You know, I posted on my Facebook that Thursday night. Had no idea that I was going to be in the showdown. I had a friend visiting from New York City, first time ever in Detroit, and we drove to Campus Marshes here, and we were just having a couple Long Island iced teas out there in the little fake beach park there, and you called me, you know, at like 7:30 and said, "Hey, showdown, start
I
telling
couldn't
your
tell
people."
that you were drinking. That was a good answer.
So I
You were
literally, the rest of our outing, we were both on our phones, just like tweeting, posting, texting, telling everyone to vote, and we
Knowing
pulled
that,
it out.
knowing that, and you were in driving home when I played this song.
Oh my gosh, that was so crazy. Oh no. We were done by then.
Fair enough.
No, it was so cool. That was so poetic too, because that is I had no idea that the song was airing at 11 o'clock. So at that point, we'd just kind of been walking around Greektown and having a good time and checking our phones. Our phone batteries are dying, of course. And one of my friends was playing over at the Marble Bar in Detroit. And so we were on our way there, and we got in the car literally at like 11 o'clock. By 11:05, that song was playing. And
That's awesome.
And we
I'm
got,
glad you heard it.
yes, it was so cool.
It always reminds me of that movie, that thing, that thing you do. when you
Yes.
hear it.
Oh my gosh, that's one of
They
my
run down the
favorite
street.
movies. Oh my gosh.
I always want to like picture the local artist hearing that when I put
Yes,
their song on.
no,
there.
that was so cool. I had so many text messages and like I said, just comments on Facebook and retweets and all that stuff. I mean, to be honest, my Twitter was basically like a ghost town until the showdown on Thursday.
Well, let's hear another song. This
Yeah.
next we got All This Love.
Yeah.
What's this one
So,
about?
you know, I was told when I first moved to Nashville, I was straight out of high school, and they said, you know, don't follow any trends, just write what you know. And so I always make the joke, I just happen to know every douchebag in Middle Tennessee. So I write about it. But when we went into the studio for this project, it was so different. I really had it in my heart that I wanted to pay homage to Detroit and to where I come from. And so we wrote and we produced these songs with a very Motown feel. So this was the first one that we tracked, and I remember we nailed it the first time through with all of the musicians, and I knew this song was special, so I can't wait to release this one out to the world soon. Yeah.
to face it, the fact that you and I would never make it. For as hard as we tried, we couldn't save it. Couldn't bring it back to life. All the breakups and makeups, they were way too complicated. So I did what I needed to do, and I left what was left of me and you. Oh, this love, all that your heart has poured into someone. How do I make it stop? I can't just turn it off. All I can see is a future never meant to be. I can learn to give you up, or I could close the book on us. But what do I do with all this love? Love. Well, my temptation is to plug another man in the equation, but it's way too soon. Infatuation, hey, it's just like a drug, 'cause you feel like it's real when you wake up in the morning. So I know I'm not ready yet. Can't believe you and me made such a mess of all of this love, all that your heart has poured into someone. How do I make it stop? I can't just turn it off. All I can see is a future never meant to be. I can learn to give you up, or I could close the book on us. But what do I do with all this love? Love. Oh, now sit still. Well, that's hard to do when it gets this real, and I hate it 'cause, baby, I still feel all of this love keeps rushing back through me like a flood. How do I make it stop? I can't just turn it off. All I can see is a future never meant to be. I can learn to give you up, or I could close the book on us. But what do I do? What do I do with all this love? Love. Oh, what do I do? What do I do with all this love?
Awesome. All this love. So that's still coming. That's you haven't released that yet either.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
your
you know, it's
future
a-
is looking bright.
Thank you so much. Well, I recorded albums in the past, and as we were talking about earlier, my name is Rachel, so it was all released under Rachel Williams, and then we just had a regrouping, and I kind of got more into doing demo sessions and the songwriter thing and the background singing thing, and I think we all have encountered this in our adult life where sometimes you just think maybe it's just not supposed to happen, but as long as I can do music, I'll be happy. And I had recorded this whole record, and I was just kind of sitting on it because I just wanted the right opportunity, and it felt like it was going to just get lost in all the noise if I would have just hurried up and released it right when it was finished. And so I just patiently have been waiting for the last 2.5 years right now. And so, we were gearing up, kind of getting back into the artist frame of mind. And I had come back to Detroit, and I'd met a bunch of Detroit musicians, and it was super awesome. And they'd use me as a featured vocalist or a background singer. And after enough shows, you start to realize, this is definitely not what I want to do. This will never make me happy. I've got a whole record. Let's go. And literally at that exact same time, the universe just intervened, and in walks Lyft and Music Town Detroit and you with WICD, and like I said, the last few months have been crazy, and I had no idea where we were going with it, because at first it was just kind of like I was the singing Lyft driver. We did Channel 7. I did all these radio things.
So you did work for Lyft.
I did. When I first came back to Detroit, my parents live, in Belleville, so right next to Metro Airport. And then my fiance was living in Royal Oak. So it just made sense. Every time I have to drive that big long distance, pick somebody up.
Take someone with you.
Absolutely.
Make some money.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Smart.
I was doing it just maybe a few months, and I got a mass text message from Detroit area Lyft that said, hey, if you're a musician, send us your stuff, get some free recording studio time. And so I submitted it right through the app. It took me 30 seconds. And within like a week and a half, I got an email, and everything just kind of spiraled from there in all the best ways. And like I said, by the spring, we were kind of doing a publicity blitz about Music Town and the partnership that they have with Lyft and with Intercom radio stations. And so I kind of was just put at the forefront gladly. I mean, but
and last time you were here, it was bright neon yellow shoes. Now they
absolutely, yes. I mean, we talked about this too. My man buys these for me because I don't know how to girl, and he's not gay, but I mean,
you're actually about to get married in like a couple of weeks, right?
Yes, because when it rains, it pours. All
right,
good
after
things.
all this,
all
you're
good
also
things.
planning a wedding.
I definitely
Should talk
thought
about this
I was
sooner.
going to die alone. I thought.
No.
I thought that maybe, like I said, I'll just write songs. I'll just sing backgrounds for people. I'll be in the studio, which those are all blessings. Those are all amazing things, and many people would die to be able to just do that. But there's definitely, I feel like, inner callings and inner dreams that for the last few years I thought I was gonna have to suppress a little, and then I come back to Michigan, and here we are. I get married in 2 weeks,
and then you go back to Nashville area to get married.
Yeah, we're getting married in a little town called Kingston Springs, Tennessee. It's like 20 something miles out of Nashville. Literally the most hillbilly wedding ever. I think we just booked our wedding band a few days ago.
That's awesome, though. I mean,
it's so funny because I get all of these texts and messages about, hey, what about this for your centerpieces? And like, oh, hey, have you talked to this about the lighting, about this and that? And I go, I'm releasing music. Like, I've literally been waiting my whole life to do what I'm doing right now, plus get married. So it's very ironic that both of these huge monumental life events are happening at the exact same time.
How long ago did you get engaged?
It will be 1 year. My birthday, September 22nd. So my birthday is this Saturday. Our single release party is on
so it's like a
Sunday.
birthday party.
Yeah.
It's a huge party.
This is a week for the books.
But that just goes to show you how fast your world turned around. I mean, only a year ago. I'm sure you didn't plan your wedding the same week as this.
Oh, no.
So.
Yeah. It was crazy. Nope. We got engaged. He proposed at 12:01 a.m. on my birthday last year on September 22nd. So we're going to be married
Congratulations.
soon, and
It's a quality move. You get out of a birthday gift that way.
I know. That's what he said. He said, so what do you want for your birthday? I said, how are you going to top last year's? I mean, hello.
Hey, congratulations to you.
Well, thank you so much.
And I'm happy you're here, and thanks for coming out.
Oh,
and
my
thank you
gosh.
to you with the nice guitar over there. I mean, by the way, what describe that guitar? 'Cause that's probably one of the nicer guitars I've ever seen.
It's a Gibson J200 Custom Edition, which just means it's a very, very, very large acoustic guitar, and then it has a bunch of cool inlays. That's what the custom
But it looks
stands
real.
for.
I mean, it's.
Well, thank you. It's
I'm mesmerized by
one
it.
of my
beautiful.
one of my
just
favorite
drooling over it.
in my collection.
Yep. See, guitars like that, you can really see my T-Rex arms because they won't reach over. That's
Right.
why we have guys like Brian. Which,
Well, that's the thing though too. Like I'm trying to learn guitar, so I'm kind of watching what you're playing as well, and it's so hard to play and sing at the same time.
It is.
That's a talent in itself.
I really don't ever want to have to do it.
Right?
Like I was really scared if Brian couldn't be here. That's what I was gonna have
Right?
to do.
Oh boy, I gotta go find somebody.
I know. No, it was awesome. This has been so cool because I feel like just in the last few weeks, I mean, musicians that I've met here in Detroit, I mean, I've met more people in the last month, like Brian here, than I had the year prior. And it's just so cool that we can all really support each other. And that's basically what our whole platform is with Music Town. And like I said, the partnership with Lyft and with Intercom, and just to give musicians this opportunity is really cool because as anyone knows who's a musician here, you know, you kind of don't know what your scene is necessarily.
Right.
And it's a lot of cover song gigs and stuff like that. And there is a place for original music. And I'm just so glad that you guys are really supportive and nurturing that hub for us here.
Well, I'm glad you made the time to come out. We got time for one more song.
All
Now,
right.
is this a new one too? I'm only here because I'm lonely.
It is. You know, going back to me writing about, you know, special guys that I have moved on from now. It's kind of hilarious that I will be getting married and I will be releasing a record that is all about ex-boyfriends. So the next record will all be love songs. I've already told him, so he knows that dedication is coming. But this is
He's
the
going to be
song.
on you for that.
Oh, for sure. Oh, he already knows. He already knows.
Where's my CD, babe? Come on.
Well, this one is my girlfriend's favorite songs, and being in Nashville dating is basically the worst. And there's a lot of lowering your standards for sure, and that is what we wrote this song about. So this one will also be on the record coming out later this year. I wrote this with Carlene Watt. This is called "I'm Only Here 'Cause I'm Lonely."
At some point in my life, I realized that love may never come for me. So I settle for the next best thing and hope it's good enough. So here I am at your door, and I can tell you don't know what to say. Well, don't worry, baby, that's okay. I'll do the talking, you know what I'm about to ask. But this time there's no strings attached. I'm only here 'cause I'm lonely. I know damn well you don't love me. So hold me tight and don't judge me. I'm only here 'cause I'm lonely. Regret is gonna come up with the sun, but I'm the one who made this bed. So I'm gonna have to live with it. And it won't be easy, but I'm not thinking about tomorrow tonight. And I don't care that it's not right. I'm only here 'cause I'm lonely. I know damn well you don't love me. So hold me tight and don't judge me. I'm only here 'cause I'm lonely. And I'm not asking you to change your mind. It's a little hard to face the dark sometimes. Tomorrow I'll be gone and you'll be free. I'm only here 'cause I'm lonely. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. And I'm not asking you to change your mind. It's a little hard to face the dark sometimes. Tomorrow I'll be gone and you'll be free. I'm only here 'cause I'm lonely. At some point in my life, I realized that love may never come for me. So I've settled for the next best thing.
Ray, that was awesome.
Thank you.
So when's the new album coming out? Real quick.
All right, so
What are
the
you shooting for?
single comes out this Friday, so it'll be available on Spotify, iTunes. So Sing Me Home. You know, find me on Facebook, Ray Williams Music, Instagram, Ray Williams Official. My website is raywilliamsofficial.com. And, you know, I think that we're going to release a couple singles before the whole album drops. So I'm going to say early next year, the whole record will be available. But for now, you know, I'm just riding this wave of Sing Me Home. Y'all are so amazing, and thank you so much. And the party, please come out on Sunday. I know it's going to be crazy, but
starts at 4.
Yes, the rooftop here at Hockeytown Cafe starts at 4 p.m. this Sunday. It's free to get in, all ages. Bring your families. There will be food and drinks and everything up there, full band show. And I actually have like an all-star band too. I have Etta James, like guitar player, band leader for the last 30 years, playing guitar for me. And like, so it's just going to be a big love fest, and I can't wait to see everybody.
So
So
after the
thank
Tiger
you.
game, before the Lions game.
Absolutely.
Live on the rooftop Sunday at 4 o'clock. Ray Williams, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me, Frank. You're awesome. Thank you. And vote tonight.
And vote
please.
tonight, yes.
Yep.
11:05 tonight, her new song, Sing Me Home, on the Showdown.
Yes,
Against new
awesome.
Thomas Threat, so tune in. See you next week.